You're 18. You're lying on cold concrete under a car propped up by a $20 floor jack, trying to break loose a rusted subframe bolt to save your buddy $100. 15 years later, you're sitting in a climate-controlled room, staring at a telemetry screen, writing computer code to pull 1,200 horsepower out of a Nissan GT-R. The client is paying you $50,000 for it. Between those two moments sits a multi-billion-dollar auto industry and tens of thousands of mechanics who learned one simple truth. Iron is iron everywhere. The principles of internal combustion do not change. What changes is the price, the risk, and the precision. This is every level of a performance tuner's career and what it actually costs to climb. Level 1. The home garage. You're 18. You haven't been paid for any of this. The car is your friend's 1998 BMW E36. Your main tool is a 108-piece Yotto socket set you got for your birthday. The 10mm socket is already missing. Last night, you watched a 40-minute YouTube tutorial on how to swap a clutch. The video has 1.2 million views, and the comments say it's an easy weekend job. It is not an easy weekend job. The transmission weighs 100 pounds, and it's resting directly on your chest. Oil is dripping into your eye. The smell of WD-40 is baked so deep into your cuticles that pumice soap won't touch it. It took you 8 hours to do what the book says should take 2. Your buddy comes over, starts the car, puts it in gear, and it grabs. Your payout is 2 pizzas and a 6-pack. But that night, lying on the driveway, you learned something. You understood how energy moves through a mechanical system. You realized that if you understand the system, you can manipulate it. Tomorrow, you check Facebook Marketplace for a used torque wrench. Level 2. The line tech. You're 22. The biggest dealership in the city hired you. The job pays $25 an hour, but the shop runs on a flat rate system. That means you get paid for the book hours the job calls for, not the hours you actually spend. You wear a stiff uniform. The floor is pristine. Above you is a 9,000-pound hydraulic 2-post lift. A 2018 crossover rolls in. The ticket says water pump replacement. The book says it pays 4 hours. Your job is to finish it in 2, so you can pocket the other 2 hours of pay. The clock is your boss. Once a week, the Snap-on truck pulls into the bay. You buy a 3/8-inch cordless impact for $600 and an electronic torque wrench for $400. You put it on credit because time is money and a good tool buys you minutes. You do 4 identical oil changes and 2 brake jobs by lunch. Your hands hurt. Your lower back clicks. You realize you're just a part of the mechanism now, a bolt in a massive commercial machine. The routine is killing you. You aren't building anything. You're just replacing what broke. On Friday, during your break, you watch a video of a shop putting together a 1,000 horsepower block, and you realize it's time to leave. Level 3. The 1,000 horsepower builder. You're 30. You own your own tuning studio. You took out an SBA loan and dropped $80,000 on a Mustang AWD dynamometer. Nobody comes here for an oil change. A client rolls into the bay with a Toyota Supra A90. 400 horsepower isn't enough for him. He wants 1,000. Sitting on your stainless steel workbench are forged pistons, titanium connecting rods, and a massive precision turbocharger. The parts alone cost $30,000. You tear the block down to absolute 0. Millimeters don't matter anymore. You're measuring in micrometers. The bearing clearance tolerance is thinner than a human hair. One mistake, and on the first startup, $30,000 turns into a pile of metal shrapnel. You build the engine. You wire in a Motec M150 standalone ECU. You strap the car to the dyno. You sit in the passenger seat with a laptop, wearing noise-canceling earmuffs. You roll into the throttle. At 8,000 revolutions per minute, the noise physically presses against your chest. The screen freezes on a number, 1,024 wheel horsepower. The client looks at the graph and smiles. He pays the $50,000 invoice. You remember that 18-year-old kid on the cold concrete. The work is exactly the same. Turning a wrench. The laws of physics are exactly the same. The only difference is that now you control the physics, and the client is paying you for the peace of mind that you took on the risk. Level 4. The Race Engineer. You're 36. You sold the tuning studio. The 1,000 horsepower street cars felt like toys once you saw what a purpose-built chassis could do. Now, you work for a factory-backed GT3 team. Your office is the pit wall at the 24 Hours of Daytona. There is no flat-rate book here. There are no customer invoices. The team's budget is $5 million for a single season. You wear a fire retardant suit. You don't use a wrench anymore. You use a military-grade Panasonic Toughbook. The car is a Porsche 911 GT3R. It doesn't make 1,000 horsepower, it makes 550, strictly limited by the FIA's balance of performance rules. But it pulls 2.5 Gs in a high-speed corner. You monitor live, wireless telemetry, tire carcass temperatures, brake rotor heat, suspension stroke sensors, aerodynamic yaw. The driver radios in at 160 miles per hour. Understeer and turn, 6. You don't guess. You look at the data trace. You tell the pit crew to adjust the rear wing angle by 1.2 degrees and drop the front left tire pressure by 0.5 psi during the next fuel stop. They have exactly 14 seconds to do it. At 3 a.m., a transmission sensor fails. The car is stuck in 4th gear. If the car retires, the $5 million budget burns. You write a bypass code in the ECU while the car is doing 170 miles per hour on the banking, pushing the shift cut logic to ignore the sensor. The car crosses the finish line. You don't get a tip. You get a plastic trophy and champagne that burns your eyes. But standing on the podium, you realize the ultimate level isn't racing someone else's machine. It's building your own. Level 5. The Apex. You're 45. Your name is on the building, but it's no longer a tuning shop. It's a bespoke manufacturing facility. You are the American equivalent of Christian von Koenigsegg, Horacio Pagani, or Rob Dickinson at Singer. You don't tune factory cars anymore. You engineer rolling art from raw pre-preg carbon fiber and billet titanium. The floor is white epoxy, spotless enough to perform open-heart surgery on. A client flies in from Geneva. He doesn't bring a car to fix. He brings a blank check. The base price is $2.2 million. The wait list is 4 years. You are designing an engine from scratch, a naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat 6 that revs to 11,000 revolutions per minute. The exhaust manifold is 3D printed from Inconel, the exact same alloy used in SpaceX rocket engine nozzles. The entire car weighs 2,100 pounds. You aren't dealing with rusted subframe bolts anymore. You are dealing with computational fluid dynamics, global homologation laws, and billionaire clients who own private islands. The client sits in the carbon fiber bucket seat, runs his hand over the exposed mechanical gear linkage you designed, and wires the deposit. He doesn't ask about horsepower. He pays for the legacy. He pays because your name is etched into the magnesium valve cover. 3 frames. The first one. You're 18, chest crushed under a greasy E36 transmission, bleeding knuckles, holding a wrench, trying to save your buddy $100. The second frame. The sterile dealership bay, trading hours of your physical health for flat rate pay, racing the clock just to survive the system. The third frame. A $2.2 million hypercar curing under 5,000 Kelvin LED lights with your signature on the chassis plate. That $20 red floor jack from the driveway? It's sitting in the corner of your glass office. You kept it. Look at it again. The mechanics never changed. Internal combustion is still just air, fuel, spark, and compression. The laws of physics remained exactly the same from the concrete driveway to the apex. The tools moved, the decimal points moved, the expectations moved, you moved. That is every level of a performance tuner.